Hey guys, welcome to a question and answer video for 2023 from me. It's been a little while since I have done a Q&A video and I thought it would be a good way for people who might not know me as well as others to ask me some questions, and also for those of you who may have been around the channel for a long time to ask me some stuff you might have wanted to ask. But we're kicking off the first question, which is from Skylard over on Instagram, and they have asked, what's your goals and ambitions for this year? My biggest goal, I guess, in my social media space is to continue to be a reliable source of education for people who might be looking for information on technology or the gaming industry. But the difference with that is I now am coming from a more new and improved quality. So I want to make sure that I can keep that standard while also providing you with raw and honest feedback and opinions with whatever I review. But if we are going to put, I guess, a numbered goal out there, I do want to reach 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. We are sitting at 8.2K, so I do think it is doable. And I also would like to reach 10,000 followers over on TikTok as well. TikTok is a channel that I really want to use more of, and you guys should follow me over there if you aren't already. But that's basically like my goals and ambitions. I'm keeping the goals small because I do want to keep my focus towards my mission statement, which is basically making sure that every video I create is being educational and entertaining for you guys. So as long as every video is like that, then I know that my ambitions are being met. The next question is from Epic Flying Horse, and they've asked, what was the very first product you reviewed and do you still have it? That's a really good question, actually. So the first product I ever reviewed or took a look at was actually the Rig 4 VR headset. It was actually an Instagram post review because at that point in time, I was not filming videos, I was not on YouTube, but I did have a pretty established following over on Instagram. So they reached out to me to see if I wanted to check out the headset, and I said yes. No, I do not have that product anymore because I have majorly upgraded to a brand called JBL Quantum. You might have heard of them. The next question is from Kelstar, and they asked over on Twitter, what's your next dream product to review? I don't really have, I guess, a dream product that I want to review, but I do know I do want to get back into the tech lifestyle space. So as much as I am a gamer, I still love technology and showing how you can use it in your daily life. And so I do want to go more into detail with everyday laptops as opposed to just gaming laptops, because that's all I've done in the past. And although I love gaming laptops, don't get me wrong, I absolutely still want to review them. I do want to have an addition of normal notebooks and companion computers for people who, you know, would be using them every day or for work. So it'd be really cool to review some of those too. However, the next product that I am buying and I'm really excited to review is actually the PSVR 2. So maybe that could count as my answer as well. So the next question is from Hannah May over on Instagram, and they have asked, one thing you plan to do solely for yourself in 2023. That is actually a really good question, and it's one that I hadn't really thought about until I read that. The one thing I really want to do for myself this year is get my health back on track. So a lot of you know, especially over on Instagram, if you don't follow me, I'm always posting on my stories, especially about how I have a lot of allergies, and they have been a really big struggle for me in 2022. And I really want to make a change in regards to that, and definitely want to get back into some kind of exercise as well as watching what I'm eating and providing my body with better nutrients and better food, because I know all of my allergies will start to clear and hopefully go away one day if I'm consistent with this routine. But I'm also suffering from a head injury that did happen to me earlier last year, and over time it has progressively got worse. So I need to get back into that exercise mode so I can reduce the pressure in my neck, my shoulders and my spine, as I do have bulging discs. So that's basically the biggest thing I really want to do for myself, and I'm really lucky. I do have such a good support network at home in my partner who really keeps me on track when it comes to eating the right foods and doesn't tempt me with any bad foods. He's really supportive of if I need help because I can't lift things. So I know in time I am definitely going to get there, but it is a massive focus for this year. The next question is from Sammy Stones on Instagram, and they have asked, do you think you will go full-time with content creating / streaming? So that is obviously the dream. I would love to one day do that, but it really isn't that simple. So the first thing is, one, I'm not a streamer. I am a tech reviewer, and streaming is something I've never been good at. It's something that's never really been successful for me, and it's never really been a focus for me. So therefore, it's not actually a source of income for me. Secondly, content creation is absolutely incredible, but I think a lot of people forget that the cost of living is so high and content creation is not a stable source of income. So I've been very lucky that I get to work with brands that, you know, do pay me for jobs, but I could go 2 months of having some money coming in and then 6 months of no paid jobs. So that fluctuation is obviously not going to pay my bills. It's not going to pay my rent. You know, behind the scenes, when agencies that represent brands pay you for jobs, sometimes they can take up to 60 days or longer before you receive that money. So imagine going 2 months of not getting paid. Like, I couldn't do that right now. I can't do that right now. So therefore, I still have to work what one would call a normal job. On top of that, if, you know, I was a streamer, I would consistently need something like 1,000 to maybe 1,500 subs a month just to be able to pay bills. And that is just not going to happen in my lifetime. I can't commit to streaming and it's not my focus. So I guess moral of the story is, yes, I would absolutely love to go full time on content creation, but unless things kick off for me a lot more, I don't see it happening anytime soon. But I'm not saying no. If the universe wants to bless me with that, then absolutely I'll take it, because that is why I do this. So the next question comes from, I believe, Tonus on YouTube. They've asked, will I do commission jobs, like gameplay videos where I'm given a script and what to say? I'm assuming that's what he means. And how many euros and dollars are we talking about? Linus Media Group, as example, they've got production teams and do ads for firms to talk in shows. So it kind of ties into my last answer. But where this is different is, yes, I do sponsored videos, but I have never and will never do a sponsored video from a brand where they have sent me a script to read. Every video I do, everything I say, everything I talk about is genuine and it comes from me. It does not come from brands. And I would never put myself in a position where I would do that, because in my opinion, it makes me a sellout and it makes me someone that, who would want to watch that basically? Like, as a viewer, I would not want to watch a creator who was doing that. So why would I want to bring that to you guys? I am very careful with who I work with. The brand and I have to have something in common, and it needs to be a product that I genuinely like and would use. Like, I turn down so many offers. You guys have no idea. So in regards to like Linus is a massive creator. He has been around for years. Why would I even compare myself to him? I'm like a little ant and he is like a massive giraffe in comparison. Like, there is no comparison. So he's a very well-established man with a very well-established company, and people still watch his stuff because he's very genuine with what he promotes and talks about. But yes, it's definitely more of an ad style and it's not quite what I do. So I do think it is different. The next question is from Beth on YouTube, and they have said, you are the best. Thank you. What was the gaming console and game that got you into gaming? What goals do you have in 2023? And what's your favorite controller for Xbox and PlayStation? So that's 3 questions. So let's break that comment down. The gaming console and game that got me into gaming was 2 consoles. The first one was the original PlayStation, as many of you know, and also the Super Nintendo. And as for the games, come on, we all know it's Crash Bandicoot, right? From a Super Nintendo perspective, I played a lot of Super Mario All-Stars and also Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins, which is on the Game Boy, but we had the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo. So those 3 games were like my go-tos as a kid, Crash Bandicoot being my favorite game ever. But thankfully my parents had the consoles and I was born the eldest, so I was lucky enough to experience those consoles when I was, you know, born and grew up with them. So if it weren't for my parents, I definitely wouldn't have got into gaming. Well, actually, I can't say that. I might have, but I definitely wouldn't have got into it at such a young age. So my goals, like I said earlier, is to grow my channels from a new and improved production quality. That's basically the main point. and my favorite controllers from Xbox and PlayStation. So I never had an Xbox until now. We have a Series X, but it is my partner's. And the controllers have always been quite big for my hands. Like, I've got quite small hands, but I do love my Aqua Shift controller that I have, and I use that on my PC. And as for PlayStation, my favorite controller was the DualShock 4 until the PlayStation 5 released and the DualSense came out. So my DualShock 4s, the favorites that I have is the gold one and the 100 million console controller. But from the DualSense perspective, I don't have a favorite design. Like, the white and black is nice, but I can't say I have a favorite, although I would love to see some metallic designs like the golds and the silvers from the DualShock 4 range. So the next question is from YouTube, and the channel is Build Your Own Version of Success. They have asked, what made you want to start YouTube, and what advice would you give for someone who wants to try it out but has incredibly bad social anxiety such as myself? Also, another question, what is your favorite gaming console video game of all time? So that question, the first one, is actually a really good question. Why I started YouTube is because I was already established on Instagram and I wanted to show my followers a different perspective of me. I was not posting videos on Instagram. I was only posting photos. And the reason is I hate my voice. I've learned to get used to it over time, but I hate the way I speak, and I didn't have the confidence to film a video and listen to myself. When I began content creating 8 years ago on Instagram, I didn't actually know of many females in the gaming space. There definitely were some, but I didn't know. I was never, I guess, shown or ever saw them online. So I felt like I had a little bit of a dream, I suppose, to make a change in the industry and be someone that other girls and women could look up to. But now over time that so many people are welcoming and understanding of the industry, I now want to be someone that anybody, regardless of gender, can look up to and be inspired by. That there is my motivator. That is why I do what I do, and also to bring you guys education and fun. Like, technology and gaming is such a fun space and it is fit for all, and I really want to be someone that you guys can turn to and be inspired to do the same thing. So my advice for someone who would have a lot of social anxiety and is scared to start a YouTube channel is you're not going to know how you feel until you do it. Now, it's easy to say just do it, right? But we are our own barriers, our own walls, and our own objections. And the truth is, you really don't know what it's going to be like until you post it. So for me, I hated my voice. I didn't like how I looked on camera, but I did it anyway because I had that dream and I wanted to learn to build the confidence to not hate myself. And if I didn't hate myself, then I wouldn't be worried about other people hating me, because who cares about other people? Like, how I feel about myself is the most important. So I posted my first video and I was lucky. I had, a decent amount of success for it at the time. Nowhere near as what I get now, but back then that was huge for me. And I was like, okay, people are responding well to this, so let's just keep doing it. The more I do it, the more I'm going to get used to it. One thing I would say is practice talking to the camera, film and edit some videos, and whether or not you post it, that's a different story, but just get in the habit of sitting down and being in front of the camera. And remember, if you do post something, you can delete it, but at least if you're getting in that habit of talking and seeing yourself on camera and going through the editing process, I really believe you will learn to fall in love with the process just like I did. Moral of the story though, just do it, like Nike say. As for the favorite console and game part, like I said before, PlayStation and Crash Bandicoot are my favorite console and games of all time. Those of you who have been around my content for a while would know that. And also, my leg does not lie. The last question I have is from Screamers, and they have asked, if you could live in any game universe, which one and why? Do you know, I've never actually thought about that, and I'm struggling to find an answer. If I had to pick something, I would want something fun and exciting, and the first thing that comes to my head would be the Mushroom Kingdom in Super Mario. It looks like such a fun place full of happiness and joy and lots of energy. Of course, if Bowser's not around. I don't know though, like, that's actually a really hard question for me, and I feel like I need to sit and think about it for a couple days, but if I had to just quickly say something, the Mushroom Kingdom would be so much fun. Thank you to everybody who reached out and asked some questions. I've been getting some lovely messages and comments from a lot of you saying you really like the new style of the videos and my setup, and that really means a lot to me because I'm very excited to bring you guys more content this year in a different way. And it's a way that I'm really proud of and a space that I wanted to create for the longest time. But it was just very hard for me to accept that getting away from the gamer aesthetic was the right move. So I'm really glad you guys are enjoying it, so thank you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. We're getting close to 8.5K, which is actually really exciting to me. So thank you for all your support, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.